Hey everybody, this is Jamie Newman here, and we are live for day 9 of the What If Project. And if you have not registered yet for the What If Project, just go over to yourbestmanager.com/whatif. But the big tip today is, what if all managers everywhere were intentional about who they surrounded themselves with? And so what I'm going to talk about really quickly is the concept of basement people and balcony people. And maybe you've heard that term before, maybe you've heard them called elevator people, but I remember there's actually a couple of leaders and former bosses of mine who would bring up this concept of these balcony people or basement people. And so if you were to visualize, if you think about maybe a nice hotel or a really nice apartment building, and you've got a whole bunch of people maybe up on a balcony that are having a great time, enjoying the view, enjoying maybe the night or something like that. And then you've got, obviously, people that are in the basement. And the choice is kind of obvious. Where would you rather be if you're given a choice between a basement and a balcony? Who wouldn't want to be on the balcony? And the metaphor for that is there are certain people that are going to come into your life. Now I'm going to say people that you choose to surround yourself with that are either going to be those basement people, so people that are hanging out in the basement, or they're going to be balcony people who are up on that balcony. And if you want to be up on that balcony, what you want to do is you want to choose to surround yourself with people who are already there, the people who already know the way, the people who can help you get there. And so the two differences between those types of people are basement people typically are the ones who are bringing you down. The saying goes, misery loves company, and these are the complainers. These are the ones that are kind of probably at your level already. I mean, you got to assume you're maybe on the street right now. They're at your level, and they haven't been where you want to go. They don't know the way. They don't know how. And those people, despite how friendly they may be, because ultimately I'm suggesting you make a choice between the two, the people who are the basement people, the people who look at life as the glass is half empty versus glass full, those basement people are not going to help you get where you need to go. You need to surround yourself with balcony people. Now that can be uncomfortable though, because for starters, the balcony people are kind of far away. Additionally, as you try and find your way into this metaphorical apartment building or hotel, it's the balcony people that, although sure, they're going to encourage you, they want more people up on the balcony to enjoy company with. So they may correct some of your missteps. They may tell you, no, you're going the wrong way, and that may be uncomfortable. But there are also times where those balcony people are actually going to come down off the balcony, get in that elevator, come down and help you get up to where you want to go. And so I bring up that metaphor, and if you look at the quote right at the top of this live video, it's a famous Jim Rohn quote where it says, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. And the what if tip that could have such a drastic difference in your life as a manager, as a leader, as in anything really, is who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with people who are going to lift you up, the elevator people, the balcony people, or are you surrounding yourself with basement people? Now that doesn't mean that you have to cut out Uncle Jim, who's a basement person, but it means you need to be intentional about spending as much time as you possibly can with people who are further ahead than you. Now, one of the podcast episodes that I want to reference today is episode 009 from the Your Best Manager podcast with leadership expert Dov Barron. And he told a story where he had gone to a Tony Robbins conference years ago. I think he said probably 20 years ago. And if you don't know who Tony Robbins is, he's like one of the biggest, if not the biggest motivational guru in the world right now. And he went to the conference, thought it was great, and he got a chance to talk to Tony afterward. And Tony said to Dov, hey, what'd you think of the conference? And Dov said, it was great, but I'm kind of pissed. And so Tony's like, okay, you got to tell me more. You just said the conference was great and you're unhappy. And he said, well, I'm just as good as you are. I mean, everything that you were saying, I mean, I can be a leader, I can be motivated, I can do all these things, and you're having success and I'm not. And what Tony Robbins said to him was, and I've got the link to the episode, so you can actually listen to Dov tell the story. He tells it better than I do. But what he said is, he said, who do you think put together the workbook for this conference? And who do you think set up all the chairs? And who took your ticket when you walked in? Who helped you with your name tag and all that? And what he was showing was that conference, that event wasn't put on by himself. Tony had a team. And the question he ended up asking Dov is, who is on your team? And at that point, Dov said, well, rhetorically said, no one, essentially. And the whole point is, it's not just about surrounding ourselves with balcony people versus basement people. It's sometimes about just surrounding ourselves with people in general. We've got this mentality, and I was actually talking with a friend last night about it. We've got this mentality in North America especially, and I'm sure it's everywhere, that we're a self-made man, that we control our own destiny, and if we just believe in ourselves, we can accomplish anything. And that's not necessarily true. You need other people. We are social creatures, and we are social people who thrive and flourish from contact with other people. And so you've got to make a choice, one, to surround yourself with other people, to have a team, to have people who can help you, but you also need to be intentional about who those people are. And so that's a big what if. And another actually episode I'm going to reference, I referenced this in yesterday's as well, but I did a podcast episode with a man named Jason Troy, and his last name is Treu. You can check it out on my page if you scroll down on my Facebook page. It's episode 87. He's the author of a book called Social Wealth. And we just got talking a lot about the difference between having resources in terms of your network and being resourceful. It's one thing to know a lot of people, but if you don't have those relationships, if you don't cultivate those relationships, it can be very difficult to leverage those relationships when you need them. And that's about being resourceful. And so I guess the whole point of what I'm trying to say is, it's quite simple. What if all managers everywhere were intentional about who they surrounded themselves with? And what if they actually invested time and attention into cultivating meaningful relationships with the balcony people? Because there are going to be times where the relationships that you build today will be the only thing that gets you where you want to go. And I mean, at the end of the day, I want to be up on that balcony. I don't want to be in the basement. I don't know many people that want to be in the basement if they're given a choice. And so choice number one is, are you going to try and do it alone, or are you going to have a team? Choice number two is, are you going to surround yourself with people who are farther along than you, people who have already been where you want to go, or are you going to surround yourself with what's comfortable and hang out in the basement? And then are you going to flourish by being resourceful, building true relationships, or just, hanging on to your LinkedIn or your Facebook network and really having nothing of meaning or value that you can attach onto when times of need or times of opportunity come up? So that's the big what if tip for day 9. And it's Friday. I will be going live again tomorrow at some point. And I don't know who gave that thumbs up, but thanks for the thumbs up. But I will say this, I'm doing a live Q&A again later today in my private Facebook group, and there's a little bonus in that Facebook group. So if you haven't joined yet, the Facebook group is called Uncover Your Leadership Potential. I'll put a link in the comment, but just search Facebook, Uncover Your Leadership Potential. And the podcast episode I released today with Jason Troy, after the episode finished, he kept talking. And he gave an incredible piece of advice about being resourceful. If you are in a corporate job and you are looking for leadership development, he gave some great advice there. I actually mentioned it in what that advice was in the day 8 yesterday, in the day 8 what if tip. But if you want to hear that exclusive bonus audio clip, join the Uncover Your Leadership Potential Facebook group. And I've got it linked up there. It's probably the second or third post down on the page, and you can listen to that. It's about a 15-minute clip where I kind of give an overview of what he's talking about, and then he just goes on about, hey, if you do this, you can get further leadership training and development, oftentimes for free, if you are resourceful. So other than that, have a fantastic Friday, have a fantastic weekend. Keep your eyes peeled on my Facebook page for when I go live tomorrow with the Day 10 What If tip. And to sign up for the What If project, you can go to yourbestmanager.com/whatif. And if you want to join me for some Q&A, if you have any questions about the What If Project, any questions about the different leadership development program that I'm working on right now, any questions about leadership in general, hop into the Uncover Your Leadership Facebook group, Leadership Potential Facebook group it's 1:11 right now, so at 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and I'll answer your questions live. See you later.